Hola John, muy buenas tardes. ¿Puedes escucharnos? Can you hear us?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, so John, tell us a little more about your strategy plan. What are the main points of the strategy presented by the company?
Well, our strategic plan and the ambition to become a fully integrated, sustainable mobility provider is built around 4 pillars. The first is the pillar around customers, move for customers, where we focus on developing new products and services for those customers using our innovation capability. The second is where we focus on growth, which is expanding our footprint with our existing customers and the geographies we're in today. The third is move for good, where we ensure that people and social responsibility are at the heart of everything we do. And the fourth is around performance, where we look to drive the continuing financial performance of the business and improve the value we create for all of our stakeholders.
And what are the fundamental steps to become a leading sustainable and digital mobility company?
Well, we have 4 key deliverables which run across all of those pillars. The first is about continuing to build on the resilient FSL model, full service leasing, and recognizing that there are some significant megatrends that continue to push full service leasing across large corporates, small, medium enterprises, private individuals also. So there's this trend towards outsourcing, this trend towards a financing of a car which includes services. The second is around looking at used cars and the continuing remarketing and the efficiency of the used cars that we put out to market, and wrapping new services around these used cars, such as a used car lease or more flexibility, which will be more appropriate for the future users of those cars. The third is around continuing to invest in digital. We announced an incremental spend in our digital platforms of nearly 66 million euros over the next 5 years. And here we want to continue to drive our position as the leading innovator in the sector, developing new platforms with new partners in Spain and across the world. And the fourth is around having specialist consulting and knowledge around e-mobility, supporting the transition to electric vehicles and the move towards more sustainable mobility for all of our clients.
What other opportunities do you see in the medium and long term for the company and the sector?
Well, I think we see significant growth trends across all of our client segments. In the large corporate space, we continue to see a demand for more consulting offers to help them address the complications arising from the transition to electric vehicles and the transition to a new mobility solution for their employees. And here our geographical coverage will help us, and we'll continue to expand our geographical coverage. Having made significant progress in LATAM, we now look at Southeast Asia as a new frontier. If we look at the SME segment, there's a continuing trend towards outsourcing in that segment, which will lead to growth for our business. And we're very well positioned to service that segment through our partnership network, our dealers, our OEMs, our insurance companies, and our banking partners. And there's also an increase in light commercial vehicles and the adoption of light commercial vehicles in this segment. And when we look at consumers and private individuals, there continues to be a trend amongst private individuals to want an all-encompassing single monthly payment to cover all of their mobility needs. And with our leasing capabilities, our private leasing capabilities and our mobility platforms, we're very well positioned to support those consumers in the future.
And what about the new trends in the sector? Are people, for example, renting for longer, or are you changing your pricing strategies as well?
I think what we're seeing in terms of trends, people are actually demanding more flexibility. So while they're looking to commit for a period of time, like a subscription, for example, they are looking for some flexibility to be built into the contract to allow them to terminate the contract sooner, or more commonly switch to another type of vehicle. Now, we already have extensive experience in the Spanish market through our CarFlex operation and our ALD Flex operation at servicing this client. And we built a lot of knowledge around customer behaviors in this sector. And if you look at the EV transition, for example, a lot of people are concerned about electric vehicles. They're concerned about range anxiety. There'll be a couple of journeys a month where the range of the electric vehicle might not suit that. And using our Flex capability to address that need and provide them with a petrol car for that day they need that journey will be very, very critical going forward. So there's a big demand for flexibility. There's also a big demand for digitalization of the experience. both in terms of providing access to your products and services in the front end, but also servicing that client more efficiently during the life of the contract. And increasingly, we see digital affecting every walk of life, and it's no different in the mobility industry. And we'll focus on making sure that we provide the most seamless and harmonious and simple experience for all of our clients moving forward.
Mm-hmm. I see. And finally, I have to ask you about the coronavirus crisis. How does the global pandemic situation affect the business?
Well, clearly in the short term, like every other business, we put the health and safety of our employees first, and we've taken the appropriate steps in all of our offices to ensure that we continue to support our employees in line with the government guidelines that are relevant. Secondly, we have to make sure that we continue to support our clients and make sure they're aware of the dynamics in the market, because it's still quite a volatile change with COVID, particularly in the second lockdown. But if we take a more medium to long-term view, obviously we're going to come out of this crisis at some point, and we believe that this will create actually opportunities for ALD to grow, because we expect there to be some merger and acquisitions opportunities further down the line, as some of the smaller players in the market struggle to come out of the crisis in a healthy state. And we also think that there will be a move towards a more sustainable mobility solution for the employees of our main corporate clients. And with our mobility as a service platform, ALD Move, which we're rolling out globally during 2021 and beyond, we'll be able to service that need and meet that need to provide other mobility options for the employees of our company car drivers, except for just a company car.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we hope that the situation will improve very, very soon. John, thank you so much for attending us. We know that you have a pretty tight schedule. Thank you so much and have a good weekend.
Thank you very much for your time.